You for joining me on Terror Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of May 2017, and this will be for the sign of Taurus. And before I start, let me give this message out. I was planning to do a second quarterly love reading for all the zodiac signs, but I hit a roadblock. Something personal came up in my life, and I had to deal with it. So I had to kind of reserve myself back and rethink about some stuff. But for now, I'm going to end up doing the monthlies for everybody until I reformulate this channel or figure out what direction I want to go in. So let's get started with your reading, Taurus, and see what can the overall message of the month can help you out. Okay, the message that you have is seek the guidance with noble ideas. So for love, what it's saying is for singles and couple up people, what it's saying is go ahead, whatever ideas that you want to bring in when you're single, trying to get somebody to be in a one-on-one relationship, go ahead and try them out. And if you are a couple up, it's just saying go ahead and try to interject new things in your relationship so it can make a better bond for you, no matter how the tides are turning or whatever is happening in your relationship at this current time. Try to go ahead and use the ideas that you're thinking about to make your relationships better. So let me go ahead and get the cards and see what you will be working with in the month. Okay, what you have in in the middle of the reading is the Queen of Swords in reverse. So some of y'all may be dealing with air sign single, or you met a certain air sign that is coming off very nasty with their words, or they're coming off kind of usually if you're single, an heir will usually think about what they say to people before they talk to them, or if they like somebody, they will try to verbally try to express it more than emotion. This person is using their words to attract you, and you're not actually feeling anything that they're saying. They may be talking off the wall at times when it comes to relationships, or you asking them questions about their past relationships. They're coming off very like nasty, or they're coming off like um that they're coming off like pretty much a bitch, and they're not coming from a point that they're speaking with any true logic when they thinking about relationships. They may be thinking this about you, or you meeting somebody and they thinking that about you. If you are a coupled up, it's saying that during the month that maybe you or your companion is starting to bring up stuff in the relationship, or talk about stuff that does not make no sense to you, or they leaving you at a point that whatever they are speaking about when it comes to your relationship is leaving you very confused and trying to figure it out, and it seems like they're just talking off the wall when it comes to different aspects of your relationship. It seems like the words they're trying to use to express their thought about the relationship is coming off kind of cruel or judgmental. What you have underneath you is the Four of Cups in the upright. The Four of Cups is usually in the normal tarot is meaning that whatever somebody is trying to offer you, you're not interested. So basically for singles, you may be trying to offer some kind of emotional thing to somebody, or they might be trying to offer it to you, and you're just not feeling at it at a time. You feel like it's kind of what they offering you is nothing special. It's kind of boring. It's kind of like it doesn't strike your heart sis to move forward to even get in a relationship with the person. And in this card, this dude is more of a voyeur. So basically they're acting reserved. They could be a reserved person. You trying to go and talk to them, they being real bored. They kind of being more standoffish. They kind of not trying to really put themselves out there for a relationship. They can be thinking this about you, or you thinking about this with somebody else. They think whatever you're offering is saying that they're not trying to even pay attention to it. Maybe they're just not at that mind state when you're talking to them at the time, or maybe you got something else on your mind you're thinking about and you're not thinking about love. So when they come and offer it, you're kind of bored with it, or you probably been through it before with other people, and you probably is trying to look for something else better than what they're trying to offer you when it comes to a one-on-one relationship. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that your relationship is hitting a period that is hitting like it's hitting a boring stride in your relationship, and it could be due to external factors, or both of y'all are just not in the mood to think about anything more emotional. Is that your focus is not on how your relationship is working together. You both may be focusing on different stuff. So when little each of you bring up little ideas about your relationship to each other, they're shrugging it off or not trying to be adventurous in it because of a timing thing. What you have in the past is the Four of Swords and the reverse. The Four of Swords in the upright usually says you take a rest and you stand back. If you're single, what it's saying is in the past you may have rushed into a relationship or tried to get with somebody and you moved on that person too fast, or a person tried to move up fast on you to get you in a relationship. They didn't kind of sit back and analyze the type of person you were, and they said, well, I'm gonna just rush and try to get in a relationship with you, and whatever they was bringing, you probably wasn't feeling it, or they was coming on a little bit too strong, like they was coming off more. I want to say the term is hungry. They was coming off hungry or demanding, and you probably did not like that, or you did that to somebody else, and they was kind of easing back and saying, "Wow, you was really hungry at this time. What's up with you, or whatever?" Because maybe you was not been in a relationship for a while, and you feel like you need to be in a relationship, or you felt that person was presenting themselves like a certain way, like they was ready to be in a relationship, so you kind of moved forward too fast on that person and got a kind of a mixed signal from that person. If you already coupled up, it say that in the past, when it came to your relationship and your one-on-one, you was kind of forcing the issue, and it was saying that you was forcing the issue in hopes to make it better. You didn't kind of sit back and kind of analyze what you both were going through at the time before you interjected these new things in the relationship. So you kind of forced it on your companion, and your companion was like wow, and trying to be to a point of moving away, or maybe came off with the attitude of being snappy or being like a bitch about it because you was moving too fast to interject something in your relationship to make it better, but you was not giving your companion time to kind of digest it. It was just all of a sudden thrown on them, and they couldn't react real fast or had time to think about it and sit back on it. What you have above you is the Ace of Cups in the upright. So if you're single, it's saying that it's somebody else in the picture that you feel like could bring you something of a emotional beginning. If you're looking for somebody during the month, you could meet somebody that is a cup sign that you feel that you could have a better chance of being in a relationship with, or that they're a better match for you. They present themselves as a person that that seems very emotionally stable, or they thinking that about you, and you think that this person makes a good partner or mate for you to be with, and that you are worth to take that chance with them because they're brand new and they present themselves with a lot of heart when it comes to thinking about relationships and being in a one-on-one relationship with somebody. If you already coupled up, it's saying during this rush period in the past, maybe during the middle of the month, things are going to turn around, and maybe your companion is going to become more emotionally attached to you, or they will probably sit back and think about certain things you want to bring in a relationship and being more adventurous, because now whatever you're mentioning to them is kind of sparking their interest and is moving them more emotionally to try something or interject something brand new into the relationship to revitalize your relationship on a one-on-one level. And whatever he or she is doing, their game to try it out and see how far it will go and lead to something better in your relationship. And the last card you have is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, if you're single, it's just saying maybe there are not pretty, you kind of not seeing other options out there for different people, or your choice of people are very slim when it comes to you finding a one-on-one relationship. It could also say that you probably set up something in the past with other people and they're just not in the picture at the time to take advantage of trying to get into a one-on-one relationship with them. And somebody could be thinking that about you, that you set up, you have a lot of contenders that want to be in a relationship with you, and they're not making themselves known, or that person can't figure out who you're talking to other than themselves, and they trying to sit back and wait to see what comes about from you on a one-on-one relationship at a later time. If you already coupled up, it's showing me that you tried a lot of stuff in the past to make your relationship better, and it's just saying that you're trying to look for more options or something more stable that you both can work on to make your relationship better. It seemed like you ran a gambit on different trying different things, and none of them materialized into something to make your relationship better. So you're kind of easing off, bringing in new ideas into the relationship for a minute and trying to let time ride out so you could see where your partner's frame of mind is going before you're trying to put in new stuff to try for the relationship. So let me go ahead and get some clarifier cards on some of these reversals to see where everything will go by the end of the month. Let's just see why the Queen of Swords is in reverse, why you have this energy. You have the Magician. So, like I said, you're trying to figure out how to work with what you have or what you already set up in the past, and maybe that's why you're not introducing new ideas or going about new things. And this can be for singles or a couple of, you're trying to wait to see what you have in the past that you set up when it came to relationships or being in a relationship already. You're trying to see what will materialize before adding something new or pulling the rabbit out of the hat and pulling out a new surprise on somebody to see if they can work with that when it comes to being in a relationship or being or interjecting something new into your relationships. Yeah. And you have the Three of Coins in reverse. So the Three of Coins in reverse is saying that you're sitting back as an individual and reanalyzing what's going on. You're not trying to go outside and have friends give you advice on things or trying to advise you on how to go about finding a relationship. You may be single trying to ask your friends. Maybe did that before, or you're a couple, you asking your friend how their relationship is and trying to draw ideas out of it. You're trying to think for yourself and manage and trying to reshape your relationship the way you want it without outside influences or outside other people's outside other patterns of what they would do for a relationship affect you. So let's see why you was rushing with the four of swords. Okay, back to Seven of Cups in reverse. It was saying that you feel like you don't have no option. Whoever was rushing on you felt like you was the only one, the only prospect, and they never set up nothing or was talking to other people. And this if you're single. They was not talking to other people. They seen you was the one that they wanted, and they just went ahead and gunned because maybe that person was just out of a relationship or you was just out of a relationship and you felt that was the person at that time to rush on. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that you needed time to come up with a whole new idea or a new kind of way to rejuvenate your relationship. And that's why the magician had popped up. You're trying to find out without boggling yourself down with a whole mess of let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. You're trying to really be meticulous on what you're trying to put into the relationship and trying to make it more calculated, so you're not trying to interject a whole mess of stuff on your partner at one time to see if which one will stick and which one you can work with. So let's see what the yeah, the King of Wands. So basically, yeah, you're not trying to rush into nothing. You want to rush in with the King of Wands. Usually, is information or it is having a sense of drive by rushing in without analyzing something. Because knights usually rush in, but they don't usually think about it. They just gun ho and go to it, and that's what it's saying. And if you're single, that person was definitely rushing in without thinking about your feelings, or you was rushing in on that person without thinking about that other person's feelings and seeing what they would be thinking about if or what would happen after you rushed in. If you already coupled up, it's saying that your companion is ready to rush in and try stuff, but they trying to be very meticulous when they trying to bring in something new in a relationship, because they don't want to boggle you down with a bunch of ideas that they want to try for the relationship, but they is rushing, and they may hit a period that they might want to rush in and put in and stuff, but they not going to with the magician. The magician usually is a card of reanalyzing everything that they have around them or what they working with and taking their time to execute stuff. They want to rush in. They have an undercurrent of emotion that they want to rush in, but they're not. They don't want to rush in with a bunch of ideas. So let's go ahead and see why the Seven of Pentacles is in reverse. You have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So the Five of Pentacles seems like going without or being left out on something. So what it is that you're if you're single or if you're coupled, it's showing that you're very content to what you have now. Even if you're not in a relationship and you have limited possibilities, you're perfectly fine with that, because maybe you have something else on the platter, and love is not the biggest thing that you can focus on now. And that's with couples too. It may be you're fine with your companion bringing in stuff slow, or they're taking their time trying to present something new, because you are reassured that the relationship is pretty stable and it doesn't need to have this rush. Let's try this, let's try that aspect added to your relationship. And as for singles, you're fine with the the people that you can get in a relationship present themselves in this kind of trickle effect. They just pop up when they want. They pop up here, they pop up there, and you fine with that because it's creating a course for you that when they pop up, you can really think about them without trying to rush ahead and try to get them, or you can really sit back and analyze them and be content with yourself without rushing to be in a relationship. So you're kind of fine with that. And the last card you have is the Seven of Wands. So what it's saying is, if you're single, you're trying to find a companion by sitting back. You don't want somebody that's going to be argumentative, or you want a companion that you don't always have to fight to have your voice heard, or that you have to always be at a state that you have to kind of stomp your feet down to make your whoever this new companion that you want to bring in hear your feelings, or deal or be argumentative to them to make sure your point in a relationship is always heard. So that's why you probably sitting back and you kind of taking this time to analyze who is coming in and who is not coming in, or who has the qualities you want and who don't. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that you coming with it may be little arguments in your relationship, but they're coming in based on you're trying to reshape your relationship better. So you kind of nitpicking on little stuff but not as much, and your companion at this time could be trying to voice their opinion on how they feel, but they're voicing their opinion just so they could let you know where they stand at in the relationship, or where their feelings is at that time in the relationship, and where do they fit in. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe, leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.